everyone. Welcome to Teamwork Design, where we strive to design life from conversation to communication. I am your host, Terry Mera.
One of the things I think about as I look back at the physical clutter in our lives, as the minimalist, we often talk about the excess material possessions that we have in our homes. And one of the ways people try to address material clutter is they organize it. They go to the Container Store, Walmart, or Target, they get a bunch of boxes and bins, and they just reorganize the clutter. They essentially hide the clutter in these boxes and bins, but organizing is actually the problem, not the solution. Hiding clutter in boxes and bins, it actually makes the problem worse. And I think we can often do that with the emotional baggage or the emotional clutter. I can organize it really well, and that way I don't have to pay any attention to it. I can hide away these emotions that I'm experiencing.
How many nail cutters do you have? I have 6. I had a family visiting my apartment on Sunday. We had a wonderful time. Prior to my family's visit, I cleaned my apartment, and one thing led to another. I ended up organizing my closets, right? And while doing it so, I realized so many items that I had not touched, worn. They are just taking space. So I pulled out as I decided I don't need them anymore. Well, that pile was getting bigger and bigger. I was surprised actually. In addition to that, as a fashion designer, I often kept all my references, such as trims, buttons, zippers, yarns, swatches, fabrics, and samples. Yup. And I like to be organized. Does it ever happen to you when you are so organized that you forget where you put things? That happens to me quite often. Anyway, so I've started to declutter, and amidst of it, I realized that I had some sort of emotional attachment to items. I mean, I still have awards that I have received when I was in elementary school. I don't know whether I will get rid of it or not. I'm still contemplating, but we'll see. And shoes. Oh my God, how many shoes do we have? Guys, I know your attachment to sneakers. I totally understand. And ladies, the love of heels, they are sexy and delicious. I get it. But how many do we wear them and actually need them? How many jackets do we have? Bags, belts, sunglasses, even recyclable tote bags do we have in our home? Right? I am so determined to get rid of all the clutters by end of this year as much as I can. If you were to say, hey, I'm a creative person, so I live creatively rather than organized way. No problem. I can relate to that as a creative person, and you made that agreement with yourself. And I am not here to judge you because I do not know what works for you. I only can share my experience and perspectives so that you can consider it in this particular case to see if material clutter is just material thing or is there more, like emotional attachments that reflect through material clutters. You know what I mean? If we are truly living in the present, instead of attachments to the past and the fear of the future, we don't need any items that many, do we? Well, like my 6 nail cutters that I have. Anyway, in the past few months, I've started to remove a lot of stuff little by little while managing the space that I have. It's not easy as you think it is because detaching yourself from anything takes a process. Especially when I ask myself, Should I get rid of this? Then, oh no, someone gave that to you. Or, oh, you never know if you need it. Well, it still fits me. I mean, there's just so many reasons to just keep it, right? So I started to sell or donate a lot of stuff that I have not touched, worn, or used more than a year as an act of decluttering my emotional attachments. The physical practice of getting rid of materials actually helped me to detach my emotions from the past that I didn't even realize. And whenever, oh, just in case that idea pops up, I evaluate if that is from fear or practicality. We have consumed so much that we have to get organizing boxes to contain all of it. So, I mean, I wonder if we are doing the same mentally and emotionally. I admit, and I know that now that I am to some extent. I mean, I considered myself to be very organized and prepared person, but during this decluttering process, I realized if I had less, I wouldn't be so focusing on organizing, would I? So I am putting effort to minimize my consumption while decluttering materials and emotional attachments. To receive new, you must get rid of the old, right? Sit down, take a moment, and look around your home and your space. I hope you get to evaluate and enjoy the decluttering process and get to know yourself a little more. Thank you for tuning in. This is your host, Terry Mara.